What is up, golf fans, and welcome back to another mixtape podcast. That's right, it's January. We do these once a month. I'm Jeff Hartman from the Fairways and Dreams podcast, and joining me, Dan from Leave the Pin. What's up, Dan? How are you?
Yes, sir. Everything's good, Jeff. Back for another episode. Start the new year off the correct way with the mixtape. Let's get after it.
Yeah, man. And so for anyone that might just be checking us out in any capacity on anyone's feed, whatever, we do these once a month. And so Dan and I used to, I've had him on my show a bunch of times. Like, why don't we just do this more often? Well, that's what we're doing once a month. So we're going to start off. It's the January. It's the new year. Everyone has some goals, some plans for the upcoming year. What are your goals or plans, Dan? That's the question.
All right, so my plans this year, I don't have anything specific as far as like score-wise or anything like that goes. Long-time listeners will know that my youngest son and I, Drew, are doing a year-long match. We started November 4th, complete match play, okay? Every time that we play, it's part of this match. I've got it recorded down in a book, what we shot each day, who's up what, all this stuff. Right now, I'm up 13 holes. Like, I'm 13 up right now on him. So one of my goals, not score wise, one of my goals is to hold him off and hopefully somehow try to beat him. 13 holes might sound like a lot. Like at one point I was 20 holes up and then he won like 7 on me. Like, so this is, if we go out and play 6 holes, it's a match. If we go out and play 36 in a day, it's a match. So it's him and I, anytime we're playing together, straight up head-to-head match play, we decide what tees and we just kind of go from there. My other goal for this year is to get out and just to play with some different people. I'm a creature of habit. I play with my boys. I play with the same people at my course all the time. My small group of friends that play around here, but I really want to kind of expand this year and get out and just play with a few people that I've met on Instagram or through the podcast and stuff, and just kind of experience some different courses.
Yeah, that's a great one. Like I say before, I'm the least traveled golfer ever.
That's correct.
You know? And
That's
so,
correct. Hey, that might be a good name for a podcast, honestly. I'm just, hey, if you want to add another one to your repertoire.
Yeah, why not? I could just add that to what I'm already doing. And just part of the Fairways and Dreams is the least traveled golfer segment where I play at the same course every single time I golf. But, I don't know, maybe we should meet halfway because you're in Northeast Pennsylvania. I'm in right below the Mason-Dixon line in Maryland. Maybe we meet in like Lancaster or something. And
that's a great idea.
There you go. I don't know how far that is for you or me, but hey, it seems like it's in the middle on the map, but whatever. But I think that for me, my goals, and I watch you, and people crap on your swing so much. And it's because it's aesthetically not what they expect when they think of golf swing. I want to find a swing that is, I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't have to look great, but I want something that is consistent and
repeatable.
Exactly. Repeatable. Where, you might have some misses here or there. We're not that good. So of course there's going to be some misses, but can I expect the same miss? Can I really set up holes based on my swing? The last 2 years have been a struggle. It's been really, really bad. And so I haven't golfed at all, swung a club, hit a golf ball since late September. No lie. And I was like, you know what? I feel like this is a chance for me to just start fresh. Like just kind of put everything that I used to think before hitting a golf ball aside and be like, okay, what do I need to do to figure something out? Problem is, I don't know the swing that well. So I'm going to have to find someone that can help me out. Video. Hey, what do you think I should do? There's people that use AI. They're using like Google Gemini to figure out what they need to do to fix their swing. I don't know, but that's a goal of mine is I do want to work on it. I want to feel more confident over the golf ball because I haven't in a while.
I think it's a great thing. And I think, honestly, that could probably work its way into a series of podcast shows of how you're progressing. What I tell you what, a lot of people also crap on us golfers in the Northeast and whatnot because of the snow and stuff like that. But I tell you what, as much as I hate not being able to play right now, okay, and I do, like, trust me, I'm on my putting thing. I'm on, like, I just filmed day 39. Like, that's bad. Like, that's really, really bad. And it is really getting to me that I'm not playing. But a month off or 2-3 weeks off, I think makes you appreciate the game so much more. I was talking with a buddy of mine in Minnesota. He does another podcast, and he was telling me how Minnesotans are like hungry as hell for the game because they legitimately have like 6 to 7 months to play.
Right.
Yeah, I get 9, 10 because I'm a golf sicko. But imagine playing half the year. Like, imagine the hunger coming out of the winter and you trying to grind every single day and get as much play as you can in over that time. So that's the one thing I like about the Northeast is that it does fuel a passion in golfers as they come into the spring.
Yeah, for me, the way I've been hitting the golf ball the last 2 years, and for as little as I've played, man, my desire for the game has been at an all-time low because it's like, okay, do I really want to take 2.5 hours out of my time to drive to the course, play 9 holes, come back? And the way I'm playing is not even enjoyable. I'm standing over a golf ball thinking, I don't know where the hell this thing's going. I'm going to try and put a little cut move on it. And next thing you know, you come over the top and it's a duck hook to the left. You double cross yourself and you're like, son of a, you know what? So there's been an enjoyment factor that has been sucked out of it. And so I've slowly, as the calendar turned to 2026, I've been thinking about it more, trying to do some research on it. But I got to be honest, man, I don't know about you. Are you all expecting that big snowstorm coming up, or is it going to miss you south?
Yeah, listen, no, I can't even like work, news, home talk is literally dominated by this swath of snow that is not supposed to be measured in inches, but in
Oh my
feet.
gosh.
Now, mind you, Jeff, and the listeners out there, we just got over the last 3 days, over the last Martin Luther King weekend, we got 9.5 inches of snow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so every day I was out shoveling and snow blowing. Every single day it was like 4 inches, 3 inches, 2.5 inches. It was ridiculous. Right now we are predicted to get anywhere between 20 and 32 inches
Holy shit.
of snow on Monday. So people laugh at me and they're like, "Hey, that's real cool. You're doing these Instagram reels, and like, how long are you going to keep that up for?" This is not a bit. Like, you understand? Like, this is my real life. I cannot go out and play golf. Like, it's not a bit. The only green that I see is on this putting green behind me. That's it.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It is bad. It is bad. Now, I know we haven't had it nearly as bad as you, but we're supposed to get pounded as well with snow this upcoming weekend. So we'll see what that does. But any other goals or plans for this year? You going on any trips or anything?
Yeah. So actually, we just booked a Pinehurst trip for March 28th through April 5th. So we'll be down there for 9 days, setting up a few things. The resort will take care of us like they always do. They're phenomenal. Playing Todd Hill, Mid Pines, and then probably throw another round in there that we actually have to pay for. Maybe do Tobacco Road this time around.
Nice.
But let me tell you this, and this is really, really interesting and crazy how small this golf world is I was looking on Airbnb and I just reached out to someone. I said, "Hey, you know, kind of thinking about your place there and wondering if our dog can come, if it's pet friendly and stuff like that." And we get to kind of talking about golf. And I mentioned the podcast. And the guy is like, "My son is an enormous fan. His coaches both follow you on Instagram. They love it. Please stay at our place." And I was like, "Okay, well, I've got, you know, a few others that will." He said, "No." He said, "You'll stay here. You won't pay a dime."
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
I was like, I said, are you sure you have the right podcast host? You sure it's like, are you sure we're not talking about anything a little bit bigger than this? Yeah, it was absolutely insanity. So we'll do a bunch of social media stuff, give people the links to stay at the place. The guy's house is right on Pinehurst number 3.
That's awesome.
Right off the 7th hole of the par 3 over there. So just phenomenal. So very much looking forward to that. That's kind of the big trip in the near future. And then the summer will be super busy with USAM, Junior Am, US Open qualifiers for the boys, all that stuff. And then we'll kind of see how LIV does, this semester. We qualified for 2 tournaments last semester. Then we got nationals at TPC Deer Run in Illinois. So lots of cool stuff happening there.
Do you find that you play less in the summer? I know in the fall when the season starts, you play less, but do you find in the summer because you're doing all this stuff with your kids that you play a little bit less than normal?
I play a lot less than normal because of them, because of all the travel and stuff. But what I find is in the summer, I'm still playing a ton because I really like carve that time out. Like, okay, I've got 3 hours. I'm going to the course. And like our course is great. Like the cart's there for me. I put my clubs on. Like, all right, see you, Dan. And I wherever there's an open hole. So in terms of like summer play, yeah, I don't play 18 holes, like literally ever, like maybe 4 or 5 times a summer, but I'm playing 4 or 5 holes, 7, 8 holes over here, or I'm playing 2 holes and 2 balls on each hole, stuff like that. In the fall now, when I'm coaching, I don't play, honestly.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, all right, yeah, goals for the new year. Yours seems like it's jam packed. Mine, I'll probably play the same course a whole bunch, and maybe I'll get better at this damn game that we call golf that we podcast about and care so much about. So, all right, I'm gonna tee this next one up because I was the one that thought of this, and it is every now and then you'll go somewhere and you might have 2 people, you might have 3 people, you might be by yourself, and you're getting ready to tee off, and someone says, "Oh, hold on. We've got another one for you." And I call those randos. Okay. Let's say you just got put with some random guy. I asked you the question, what's your best rando story? Now I can say mine first if you want, or if you want to go first, you can. It's up to you.
You go first. Mine is go ahead. You go first.
All right, I will go first. This was years ago before I was married and anything like that. We went down to Myrtle Beach, and anyone that's been down to Myrtle Beach knows there is there's 3. I think they might have had a 4th now. These cat courses. So there's the lion, the panther.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Okay. So we had a package deal to play 3 of those courses, and for the first 2 days, we had 3 rounds of golf. The first 2 days, it's my dad, it's my brother, and it's me. We were fine. It's just the 3 of us, and we just flew around. It was a great time. We played well. And then the very last day, the 3rd round of golf, we're just what I described. We're getting ready to go to our carts, and all of a sudden, here comes the starter. Whoop, hold on. We had a single come. We're going to put him with you. Now, my dad and brother were in a cart, I think, and I was with the rando. Now, let me first say that this story is not about the rando. It's about me. But it's the fact that the rando is who he is or was, I don't know what he is anymore, makes it funny. So at that time, I had not worked a draw into my game yet, and it was a slice if it was a miss. It was a banana slice, man. I'm talking about one that starts on the left fairway and ends up OB on the right. And I was fighting it that day, and I was fighting it the whole trip, but I managed it. But the last day, we're probably on hole number 8, and this guy's super quiet. Like, he's not saying a word. He's just there. He's golfing, taking it in. We're all very jovial. No one's really playing great, but that's okay. We're not down in the dumps, but it starts to get to me. I'm starting to fight it more and more. I'm getting frustrated. Jeff is getting agitated. And so what happens? Water on the right. Jeff, what does he do? Tries to play it far left, puts it in the water. And I say some words that are probably not so nice. I'm not going to say them on the podcast here because we'll try to keep it PG. And so after they get in the cart and we're talking and everything, and another shot, another bad foul language. And finally, my dad on the next tee box says, "Hey, what do you do?" The guy says, "I'm a priest." And I looked and said, "Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me." And my brother says, "Way to go, Jeff. Way to go." And it was one of those, he never said a word. I'm sure he was praying for me, and I appreciate all those prayers that he probably sent my way that day. But it was just one of those. Now I've learned that if I get stuck with someone I don't know on the first tee box, the question is, what do you do for a living? And if it's I'm a minister, I'm a pastor, I'm a priest, all right, we got to clean it up. Then if it's not, all right, let's have some fun. So that's my best random story on the golf course. And again, it had nothing to do with him. It was just one of those where you're like, oh my gosh, I put my foot in my mouth so many times before finding out that information. So that's my random story. What do you got?
So we just released our last episode, which is about golf stereotypes, right? And that kind of made me think about that, introducing yourself on the first tee, what do you do for a living, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm at my old club that I used to be a member of, actually with my, defunct Crooked Swing, won a club championship, pretty good golfer. I know where the ball's going. And I get paired up with this guy. I'm about to walk out. Pro comes over. He's like, "Hey, you want to, play with this guy?" I said, "I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just working on some stuff." Guy comes up. He's like, "Oh my God, I heard you won the club championship. That's awesome." Super nice guy. We're on like the 3rd or 4th hole. And he starts like bitching about his wife and stuff, and I was like, okay. Like I literally came out here to work on wedges today, I just like, oh man, and I was like, "Hey, if you want, man, you can go ahead. It's cool. We don't need to play together. Like, it's all over." He's like, no, I love the tempo you have. I love playing with you. I love talking to you. Now, mind you, Jeff, he's talking. I'm not talking at all. And we get like 3 or 4 more holes. And now we're on the furthest point of the course. And we, to walk back in would look weird. Like, I got to play 8 and 9 to get back to the clubhouse, right? Now, mind you, I planned on playing 18. At this point in time, I'm like, I'm out. Bounce after 9 holes. So we get done with 9 holes, and he was like, "Hey man, thanks for listening. Going through a rough patch right now. Everything will work itself out." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, hope it does." And he's like, "Hey, you gonna be back here tomorrow at this time?" I was like, "Okay, now I know what time not to come back here tomorrow, right?" So I see the guy around the club a few more times, 5 or 6 times. He played 2 groups ahead of me in like the next year's club championship, and then we don't hear about him whatsoever. Disappears off the face of the earth. And one day I had said to the pro, I said, "Hey, did you ever see," I could use his name. His name's Vern. It's all public knowledge at this point in time. I said, "You ever see Vern lately?" And he's like, "No, we haven't seen him. He just stopped coming." I said, "Is he still a member?" He says, "He paid his dues for the year." Okay, no big deal. Flipping through the newspaper about 2-3 months later, and we see this big prostitution sting. And who's front and center? My man Vern.
At least he didn't kill someone, which I thought that's where it was going. Vern's serving life.
Vern.
Well, he's serving something, but
He got served something. That's right.
Oh man, Big Vern. I'm sure you haven't seen him around too much since.
No, I have not. I'm sure some people in the penitentiary may have seen Vern.
Oh
lately.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Every now and then, man, you get those randoms, and sometimes they can be great people too. And I got to be
Oh,
honest,
for sure.
there's been times where I've had a random that has turned into a good acquaintance. I'm not saying that we became golf buddies, but you see him and you talk to him, and it's a pleasurable experience. So those do happen as well. Most people, more often than not, the random is a really nice guy who's just out there to golf. And I tend to want to pack in when things are busy at the course, at my golf course. You know, if there's a single behind me and a double behind them, y'all want to just get together and play, like it's fine. And then you end up talking, it's fine. So I don't want to make it out that all randos are bad, but every now and then you get a rando that can be memorable for sure.
And I'll tell you what, too, like props to the people that are secure enough to go out as a single in places, right? Because that's not the easiest thing to do. When you go up and you're like, "Hey, you got room for a single," and the guy's like, "Hey, tee sheet's packed, but if you can get up on the first tee in 20 minutes, you can play with that group of 3 up there." Like that, especially like as adults, that might be one of the most awkward things in sports nowadays. You know, it's not like sitting around in a park and being like, "Yo, I got next. You know, can you pick me up on this 5-on-5 team we're running?" It's like, no, I'm committing myself to 4.5, 5 hours with you guys. And especially like you, if someone's in the same card as you, that's a next level intimacy right there.
I can't think of any other sport, serious or recreational, that is like that in golf. I mean, you think about it, if you go bowling, no one's saying like, "Hey, these people are going to come bowl in your lane." Like, no, you have your lane, they have their lane, they might be next to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's like tennis if you're playing doubles and they just say, "Hey, they're going to play doubles against you," but still, you're not. Like you said, it's intimate. Golf is a very intimate sport in so many ways, where you have to wait for one another. There is a natural communication that should be going on, even if it's just, "Hey, is this me or you here? Who's going first? Go ahead." Like you have to communicate. It's weird, but hey,
And,
I think that's what makes golf great.
It does. And you think about it too, like if you're out playing with a group of people, odds are you've probably known them for a long time. So you got inside jokes and stuff like this. And then all of a sudden here comes a single out there, like ready to burst this bubble, you know, and the single knows that you don't want them there.
Right.
You know, like everybody knows that too. And so you're kind of putting on this act. And I think people, you know, I know a lot of times people will be very insecure about like how they play as well. Like, look, if you're playing with me and you're saying, I don't care about your game. Like I'm not being a jerk. I literally don't care about your game.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. But there's, you have the rando stories. Man, let's talk some professional golf. I know that you don't like to, but I know you did a podcast on some of this stuff. What's your take on this LIV stuff that's going on? Both LIV adding the NCAA men's champion to the high flyers, Phil Mickelson, and then Brooks coming back and the other guys getting a window and the PGA kind of making some moves. What was your take on all that?
As far as Lasasso goes, Michael Lasasso, NCAA champ, like that's great. You know, people are up in arms. So like he's not taking his master's exemption. He's not going to be on the Walker Cup. Dude's setting himself up financially for life.
Yeah.
I mean, he's third at PGA Tour U. So that's going to get you a Korn Ferry Tour card. awesome. Do you know how good the Korn Ferry Tour players are? I know you're a great player, but professional golf and NCAA golf are not even in the same stratosphere. And to say that, well, he would go to the Masters, he would play the Walker Cup, he would, automatically move from the Korn Ferry Tour to the PGA Tour, like that's not a given. Okay, I know murderers on the Korn Ferry Tour that are never going to get a chance to play on the PGA Tour. So for like him, in terms of getting the money, like get it. Get it. Because the way that it looks like now, with Brooks and the PGA Tour saying, hey, here are the guidelines we're going to put in. Sorry, Phil, like screw you still. You're outside of that window. Okay, we did that on purpose, right? 2022, you're past that, old man. There's going to be pathways back. And then what you're going to start to see is you're going to start to see some reciprocity between the tours. And that was always going to happen. Like, let's be honest, like LIV only exists because of the PIF fund. It's not structurally sound. It's not monetarily sound. I mean, God, even the audio visuals are not sound on this thing. It's just a rich man's a whim. Like, I've got umpteen amounts of billions of dollars. What can I spend it on? I like golf. I'm going to make my own golf league. All right, cool.
Do you think that eventually they're going to open it up for any LIV player to come back and not just those that fit a certain criteria?
No, I don't, honestly. Because there are a few players that the bridges are so burned that they're ashen right now that they'll never accept them back.
Who would be those players? Phil's one.
It would 100% be Phil. And he is like the person.
He'd never want to come back, in my opinion. I think he's so married to the idea of LIV. I think he would stay there forever.
100%. I can't even agree more to that. I think what the PGA Tour almost wants to do is like erase Phil from history, which obviously you can't.
Right.
But I think in a perfect world, they would love to do that. Now, with Bryson asking this much money, I feel like if he gets it on this contract, that the PGA Tour would wash their hands of him as well. I truly feel like this is a tipping point for Bryson. And if he wants to go to the tour, they'll let him. They'll have him back, open arms. But let's be honest, he's making so much money off of YouTube and all this other social media. And the tour, to its fault, is the one major North American sports organization that always wants to control what's put out there. Like, I can go to an NBA game and record it, and I can put it on all my socials, and they will never hunt me down. The PGA Tour was literally hunting people down for, posting videos and stuff like that. And that screwed them, right? It bit them big time. A lot of their guys left. Bryson's making more money than he ever did on the PGA Tour, just on his socials alone. Yeah. So in terms of him, I don't see him going back. Why is Brooks going back? Probably because he got a bum deal, on the next LIV thing. Like, he's not even a good player. Like, let's be real right now. He's not even a top 200 player, 250 player in the world. Like, he sucks. DJ sucks, and he just re-upped 3 years. Like, I love Ian Poulter, but guess what? He sucks compared to some of these guys playing on PGA Tour Canada or Latino America or China right now. Like, the level of golf is so good. With all that being said, if I'm past my prime, if I'm not playing good golf, if I'm out of shape, I'm taking all the money and I'm running.
Sure. I think Brooks realized that he wasn't working at the game. He wasn't practicing. You've seen it with all these LIV guys. John Rahn's slowly starting to figure it out, but all of them, except for Bryson, maybe, they got the money and said, what do I need to practice for? These tournaments mean nothing. Yeah. I've already been paid. Yeah. I don't need to win money. I've already made money. What about someone like Patrick Reed? And I'm not a Patrick Reed fan, but the guy's a Masters champion. He's always rubbed people the wrong way, no matter where he is. Always. He's openly said he'd be willing to come back. He doesn't fit that criteria. What if he says he wants to come back when his deal's done? Do you think the PGA opens the door?
No, I think 2 middle fingers to Patrick Reed.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, the guy has never found a home. Like, there's that old expression where there's smoke, there's fire, right? You don't get kicked out of a college for stealing and doing other unscrupulous things to go to another college to be eventually booted once you're done playing for them and winning a national championship. there are hundreds and thousands of professional golfers that you never hear about cheating. Why? Because they don't. But all of a sudden, just all these stories appear because of Patrick Reed. Like, come on. It's like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Come on, it's ridiculous at that point in time.
And that's what I've always said. And the last thing I'll say about the whole live thing is that there's not many players that I would want back. I could count them on one hand. Would it be great to have Bryson DeChambeau back? Yeah. He's a big name. He's a star. You want all your best players. John Rahm, sure. You see John Rahm still can play the game.
Right.
Tyrell Hatton, I'd love to see him back as well. Other than that, Cam Smith sucks. He's not that good anymore because he doesn't care. DJ, like you mentioned, he's not playing good golf. Sergio, this is laughable. Now we're talking about like a retirement group more than anything else. I just feel like LIV is going to remain because, like you said, the PIF has just bottomless pockets. Like they'll never reach the bottom. But at some point, I think it's going to become very clear that the PGA Tour is doing just fine. And that LIV getting the young guy to come over, I can't say it moves the needle. I don't know. Do you agree or disagree?
That's a great point, moving the needle, because let's be honest, if the PGA Tour was able to get the top 10 names from LIV, right, they would create initial excitement in the beginning, right? But how many Sundays would those 10 guys be contending in? Not many, because let's be honest, when they were playing on the PGA Tour, it still wasn't every single Sunday that you heard those names.
Right.
It's so hard to win a professional golf tournament. And then it's even harder to contend week after week after week if your name is not Scotty or your name is not Eldrick. Simple as that. So you might pay Bryson or you might get Bryson out of the contract. You might tell him he can come back, right? Is Bryson going to be contending every single week for 30 weeks? No. There'll be 4 or 5 weeks. Is Brooks ever going to contend? Sure, maybe once or twice. But at least on LIV, with these guys that are living off their names, like you mentioned, the Sergio, the DJs, the Aim Poulters, all those guys, they're living off their names. At least they're relevant because the field is so much smaller. Right. And if they finish in the top 20, which literally means you beat like 25 guys, then it seems like some sort of win. But to have these guys back on the PGA Tour, it's a drop in the bucket. It's not going to make much of a difference.
Well, I was shocked how many tournaments Brooks has already committed to. And you could tell, like the
run. Yeah.
The PGA was like, if you're coming back, you're playing, dude. Like, yeah, you've won a lot of majors, but no, like we're not playing. This isn't a dog and pony show. Get your butt out there and compete. And so I was like, hey, let's see Brooks Koepka. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got. And if he burns in flame, goes down in flames, then that'll tell us everything we want to know. But if he competes, that might be a signal to some of the other people, the John Rahms, the Brysons, like, hey, he's making a name for himself. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting.
I want to see someone hold his foot to the fire, though, in that $5 million that he's supposed to donate to a charity of his choice in the future, like to make sure that actually gets done and it's not just PR BS.
I agree. Real quick, what's your take on TGL season 2? Its ratings are significantly down. And I have to be honest, I haven't watched a minute yet this season. I was excited for it, but football has taken over and I'm not paying attention to the TGL. What's your take here?
So last thing I saw, some nights were down as much as 80% for a year prior. Opening night was down 65%. So I tried. All right, Jeff, I'm not going to lie to you. I tried opening night. I watched a little bit of the pre-show. I'm like, okay, this is the year. Like, I'm giving it a chance again. And I feel like I'm like that scalded dog that gets beaten. Like I keep coming back, like, nah, maybe they'll be nice to me this time. It's awful. I mean, it's flat out horrible. You had one team, I don't remember who it was, Justin Thomas's team. I think they won last year.
Yep.
2 out of the 3 guys were like guys they picked up off the street. Like 2 of their 3 starters were out because of injury. JT, somebody else, maybe Billy Horschel or something. So they had 1 guy on the team and then 2 other randoms that they just brought in off of the tour. You can't have a golf league, a team league, where you don't know who's on the roster, where all of a sudden, day of, they throw something up on Instagram. They're like, hey, so-and-so's playing for us tonight. Okay. He's on that team? Nope. He's a fill-in. What, like imagine Aaron Rodgers for you this year doesn't play, right? And all of a sudden they're like, yo, we got Big Tony tonight. Like was he on the practice squad? Nah, he was throwing a football in the lot. Yo, he looked good.
He's a fill-in.
Man, again, it's another thing. Like rich people are hilarious, dude. Because they've got to be smart in some way, shape, or form, unless they're Nepo babies and they've been left a lot of money. Rich people throw so much money towards crap, right? We see it in the golf realm. And I just don't know how a sane person that watches this can say to themselves, we should be paying more for this. We should keep paying money for this. We should keep this going. I don't get it, honestly.
I did a whole podcast at the end of last season about how I think TGL could be better.
Okay.
And I said, if you want to treat it like a league, you got to treat it like an actual league. You should have free agency. You should have trades. You should have expanded rosters so that you don't have the issue that you talked about where you have two guys that are hurt. I mean, who was it? I think it was the last year. That team, which I think is the Atlanta Drive Company that won.
Yes,
that's JT's team.
Yes.
Lucas Glover was on that team last year, played in one match the entire year and won a couple $1 million because they won the championship.
Sure.
Expand the rosters. Last year, it was, I think Xander is the New York Golf Club. He was hurt.
Yes,
so you would have people to fill out the roster. I think that if they want to treat it like a league, they got to treat it like a damn league. And that's, hey, we're going to open up free agency at the end of the season. Who you putting on the chopping block? Is a Billy Horschel going to be put on the chopping block? Or who's the guy that does commentary now for NBC, who's on the Jupiter Golf Links with Tiger, Kevin Kisner, the worst golfer in the entire TGL. Okay. So maybe Kevin Kisner gets put on the block. Hey, you want him? He's a free agent. Maybe he stays, maybe he doesn't. That's going to at least make it entertaining. It's boring. And there are talks of new teams coming in. I know they have copyrighted the Detroit team, and there's already talk of a Dallas team with Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth getting involved. And also the technology sucks.
It does suck. And it's 2026 now, and we're investing like $1 billion into this, and it's not even good. I was watching a few, Jeff. This ball was rolling like it was on a frozen highway at a 15-degree slope downhill. Like it just kept going. I'm like, this is what we're watching on TV. We're watching a fake ball on a simulated screen roll for like 30 seconds. Make it make sense.
We're golf deprived, guys. Golf fans will watch anything that's golf related. I'd rather watch them go out down to Florida. The Internet Invitational was such a huge hit because at least it was entertaining. And there's times where the TGL is not entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not boring because you have an official and you have the hammer. Most people don't even know what the hammer is anyways.
No. Most of the guys don't even know how to use it.
No.
You know what else bothers me? Let me just say one last thing. You made a great point. A league is a league, right? We know who's in the NBA. We know who's in the NFL. Teams have rosters, okay? Teams have practice squads. Nobody knows who's in the TGL.
Yeah, unless you follow it.
No, well, I'm saying you know who's on the team, but we don't know where these guys can be taken from. You know, like anybody and their mother could just show up, I guess, if they're a professional golfer. Like, I think if we had a box that said, okay, these 50 names are players that are eligible to play in the TGL for the 2026 season. Yeah. Okay. Each roster, 10 teams. You have to have 5 on a team. There's our 50. Okay. Now the next year, 5 people retired from the TGL. Like these next 5 are coming in or something like that. They've got an all Korean team too on it, which to me makes 0 sense. You're never going to Korea. It's always at the SoFi Center.
Yeah.
Like, so now we're bunching people up based upon what their race is. That's insane when you think about it. Imagine if I was the NFL.
When you put it that way.
If I'm the NFL and I said, well, you know what? We can only have a team with, Japanese players, and you can only have Samoan players. Like, what other sport but golf would do that?
It's weird. I don't know who's making these. Who's making these decisions is what I want to know. Is there a commissioner? It just felt like last year, their first year, they missed a golden opportunity to have a draft to really draw up people talking about it. I said, if Kevin Kisner, I'll keep hitting him. If Kevin Kisner was the last player drafted, that's hysterical. Like, that's so funny.
Mr. Irrelevant, number 50.
Yes, exactly. Tiger Woods goes, I'm the last pick. I guess I got Kisner. Kiz, come on up. Like, that would be so much fun. That would be hysterical. And then if they had a draft every year where there's new players coming into the league, again, if you're going to have a league, treat it like a league.
Treat it like a league. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Oh, yeah. All right, dude. You got some songs?
Yeah, let's go. I know you've got a little bit of a theme going on,
yes,
and
sir.
I love it. It seems like all the time now, death in the music community that actually hits me of someone that, I appreciate and respect out there. My theme is all kind of B-side tracks, so really kind of deep cuts from some bands. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'm going to say all three of mine.
Okay.
Because I went with the Grateful Dead 3 trio because Bobby Weir passed away. And there's been a lot of really great stories. And I'll say this. I'm a John Mayer guy. We've talked about the Dead on here before.
For sure.
And he said it, and Bob Weir had said it in an interview as well. And that's where he got it from. He said, sometimes the music finds you.
That's right.
That's how I came on the Grateful Dead. No one turned me on to the Grateful Dead. It kind of found me. And man, has it been a lot of fun. And I wish I would have seen the Dead and Company. I wish I would have seen the Dead back when they were still playing. But still, the music found me. So I'm going to do 3 Grateful Dead songs that maybe you didn't know, especially if you're just someone that's like a greatest hits person. But these are songs you should know, and they're not like deep tracks like what you're going to say. I'm going to go with, it should be on your 4th of July playlist. Give me U.S. Blues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Saint Stephen as my second song.
Yeah. Classic.
And let's go Brown Eyed Women as my third. I love those tracks, whether it's the live, whether it's the Dead and Company, all of them awesome. So rest in peace, Bob Weir. Those are my 3 songs for the month.
Good, very good. I'm glad you chose that. That was terrific. And to kind of go back to him and Mayer, I watched the benefit for Bob that they had in San Francisco. Mayer played his guitar, Bob Weir's guitar. And spoke at length about him. He's like a father figure to him. And some of their last shows the Dead and Company did, you can tell Bob was struggling a little bit to kind of keep beat and to keep pace. He dropped his pick a few times, and John was right there picking it up. And just, a classic moment between 2 people who are from completely different generations. But like you said, the music found them, brought them together. I think it's a beautiful thing.
They were born on the same day, 30 years
crazy,
apart.
Right?
That is crazy.
That's nuts. Like, that's kismet right there.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
My 3, one of my favorite bands, grunge band from the 90s, 2000s. I mean, even they're still making music now. A lot of people don't know. But it's Just Breathe by Pearl Jam. It's a single. It's not on any album.
Very good song.
Then kind of an emo pop punk band from, again, early 2000s or so, Taking Back Sunday. The name of the song is Best Places to Be a Mom, and that's off their self-titled deluxe edition, Taking Back Sunday. And then a band that I'm really into, kind of like a folk rock band with some actually very dark lyrics if you listen, the Decemberists. And I was meant for the stage off of Her Majesty album. So that's Pearl Jam, Taking Back Sunday, and the Decemberists.
I got to ask, did you check out the new single with Yellow Card and Good Charlotte?
Oh yeah, well, and actually, that's an older song.
It was showed up on my Spotify because it's a new song. I was like, this is pretty good.
So the story. So Good Charlotte's back touring right now. They just played a show at the Forum in LA last week, and they've still been. I mean, they've been making music all along.
Right.
But they collaborate on that. So like Good Charlotte's part in that is a brand new line to a little bit of an older Yellow Card song. But yeah, I believe they're touring together. I could be wrong about that, or they're playing a one-off show or something like that. But that's a concert to get to if you can, especially if you could see that in California, somewhere around LA. That would be insane.
Absolutely.
That would be cool.
Right. Well, what's coming up on Leave the Pin? You got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I've got like 4 or 5 shows in the hopper. We've got a lot of good guests. We've had a lot of good people coming on. We got a lot of good people that are going to be released. I don't want to give too much away. People can kind of follow the Instagram on that. But we brought back the My Course series, which is someone coming on. Maybe they're not big in the social media realm. Maybe they're not big in the golf realm, but they've got a connection to a course. They love it. They know it inside and out. And it's going to kind of give all the listeners and the followers, ideas of other courses to go to. And these are not always your top 100 courses, right? This is your local, this is your Wheeling, West Virginia course, right? This is my Indian Mountain course. It's the places that are near and dear to our hearts. So maybe you're traveling somewhere and you're like, you know what? I remember hearing about this course in Oregon that this guy played, or in Massachusetts, or we just did one on Turtle Creek in right outside of Philly, which is going to release this coming Sunday. So we brought back that series, and we got a lot of people lined up for that in the future, which is pretty cool. How about you?
Hey, for me with the Fairways and Dreams podcast, I get excited when the PGA Tour comes back because I try to do 3 shows a week.
Gambling on it.
That's right. My solo show on Tuesday. I've got my press podcast, which is my gambling picks and predictions for the upcoming tournament. And then I like to do an interview on Thursday. So at least 2, if not 3 shows a week is what I shoot for. But I love the golf season, man. I'm excited for this warm weather, and we're about to get dumped on. So it's probably not going to have for a while.
Yeah. So people, when you listen to the February episode, harken back to right now what we said, because I'm still probably going to be buried under snow in February.
All right, man. Check him out on Instagram at Leave the Pin. Check me out on Instagram at @thegolf_life. Until February, man, enjoy yourself. Take it easy, Dan.
All right, be good.